Good morning, students. So, in molecular genetics, the last topic is protein synthesis. Okay, so we have seen replication, transcription. Today, we'll be seeing about translation. So, translation, in other words, it is the process where the protein is getting synthesized. DNA is converted to mRNA in transcription. So, this mRNA is further processed to produce protein. Okay, that is called as translation. So, okay, so DNA is the, I'll just brush up transcription once again, then we will go for translation. So, DNA is only found in nucleus. So, proteins are only made outside the nucleus, that is in the cytoplasm. Okay, replication is taking place in nucleus. Translation is taking place in cytoplasm. So, you'll be thinking how many different messages within the DNA molecule get to the many ribosomes outside the nucleus. Okay, so I'll tell you. See, RNA, the job of RNA is to carry out message from the DNA to ribosomes, that is in the cytoplasm. So there are three types of RNA. So mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. Okay. So mRNA is called as messenger RNA, tRNA transfer RNA, rRNA ribosomal RNA. Okay, mRNA messenger means it carries message from DNA to the cytoplasm. Then transfer RNA, it transports amino acid from mRNA to mRNA to make the protein. Okay, then rRNA, this makes up ribosomes. These ribosomes are called protein factory, means they are involved in protein synthesis. So this is how three types of RNA, other types of RNAs are also there, but mainly these three types of RNA are involved in translation. Then this protein synthesis, I told you, two steps are there: transcription and translation. Transcription, synthesis of mRNA from DNA. Translation means mRNA and ribosomes come into this picture. Okay, so based on information that is there on the mRNA, the protein gets synthesized. Okay, so I'll brush up transcription once again. So transcription has three stages: initiation, elongation and termination. So in initiation, RNA polymerase will come. It will bind to the DNA. Okay, this is a prerequisite, binding of RNA polymerase to DNA. Okay, for the initiation of transcription. Then there is promoter region. Okay, they are the specific regions of DNA where the enzyme comes and binds. Enzyme is RNA polymerase. Then the enzyme will split, okay, apart the base pairs. It will unzip or unwind the DNA. Then what happens? It will identify the particular gene. Okay, then it is called as Pribnow box. Okay, consensus sequence is also it is called that. Enzyme will identify that region, it will go and bind there. Then what is Pribnow box? It is also called as Tatat box, I told you. Okay, the stretch of 6 nucleotides centered about 8 to 10 nucleotides to the left of the transcription start site. So this is the site. So 5 prime to 3 prime end, TAT. Okay, Tatat box. So here you can see the promoter region, how it is. You can see the Tatat box here. So there the promoter will enzyme will come and bind. So here. Okay. Then after initiation, it is elongation. RNA is synthesized from 5 prime end to 3 prime end. Okay, anti-parallel to the DNA template. Then RNA polymerase will utilize this ribonucleotide triphosphates for the formation of RNA. Then the sequence of the nucleotide bases is complementary to the template DNA. Once after elongation, termination will come. Termination, two types are there: row dependent and row independent. Row dependent means there is a protein called as Rho factor. This is rich in, this factor goes and binds to the region that is rich in C, cytosine. Okay, cytosine rich region at the end of newly synthesized RNA. Then there the synthesis stops, it is terminated. This is row dependent. Row independent is there. This is the RNA, new RNA which is being formed, that itself will form a hairpin loop like structure. Okay, this will, the folding will inhibit or terminate the synthesis. Okay, then this forms in palindromic sequences also. Okay, see like this, the hairpin turn of RNA is complementary to the DNA that exhibits two-fold symmetry as a result of presence of palindrome sequences. Palindromes, you all know, it is a, like, it is read as same when you read from forward and backwards. Okay, example is madam. So this sequence is getting formed there. Okay, see the binding of uracil to Na is weak and it separates RNA and DNA. So here, see, this is transcription. After this, it is how this mRNA is getting terminated, you can see. Okay, then so here you can just see what RNA strand will be made from the following DNA sequence. How will you solve this? In DNA, what are the bases? A, G, C, T. In RNA, it is A, G, C, U. Okay, so A pairs with T in DNA, G with C in DNA. ATGC. In RNA, AGCU. Okay, so using that you can frame. See, A, the sequence is like this. See, G, C, A, U, G, C, G, U, A. You understand the bases first present in both, what binds with what, then you can easily write the sequence. Okay, you yourself has to try this. Then once the transcription is formed, there are certain modifications that is happening to the synthesized RNA, right? So those modifications are called as post-translational modifications. So there is 5' capping. Okay, additional poly A tailing is there. 5' capping means, so the 7-methyl guanosine that gets attached, okay, by 5' unusual linkage, okay, by guanylyl transferase. So this permits initiation of translation. After this modification, translation takes place. Then there is poly A tailing, where the end of the chain, the 40 to 200 nucleotides attached, okay, there is the poly A tailing formation. This will stabilize the RNA and helps to come out of the nucleus to the cytoplasm. Then there is editing. The non-coding regions and all are removed. Okay, the non-coding sequence are called as intron. The coding sequence or useful protein synthesis is called as exons. So, okay, those sequences. So they are edited. So this is green thing is DNA. Then there is transcription, where there is exon, introns, everything is there. So during RNA editing or RNA splicing, the non-coding introns are removed. Okay, then exons are there. Then inhibitors also, I've told you, rifampicin, dactinomycin, all this inhibits the transcription. Few examples you have to note down. Then now we will see about translation. Okay, so translation is the protein synthesis. The mRNA sequence will translate into the amino acid sequence. So there are 20 amino acids and there are 4 bases. Okay, see here you can see many amino acid chain is there. Phenylalanine, leucine, isoleucine, methionine, valine, serine, everything is there. And each amino acid is coded by different bases. Okay, that we call it as genetic code. 3 nucleotide base sequence in mRNA that acts as a code word for amino acid. For phenylalanine, some code is there. For alanine, some code is there. So depending on the code, the protein gets synthesized. Okay, that is genetic code is 3 nucleotide base sequence. The codons are composed of 4 nucleotide bases. Okay, then these 4 produces 64 different combinations. Okay, see AGCG is there. So this 4 nucleotide will code for one amino acid. Then 61 codons are there for 20 amino acids. Okay, the 3 codons UAA, UAG and UGA, these are called as stop codons or nonsense codons because they do not code for any amino acids. Okay, suppose if they ask you to give examples for non-coding or stop codons, you have to give examples for this UAA, UAG and UGA. Okay, they act as stop signals in protein synthesis. See, here you can see the genetic codon examples. So UUC both will code for phenylalanine. Then UUA, UUG for leucine. Okay, you need not remember everything, all the codons. Just you have to understand what a codon is and examples for stop codons. So here you can see UAA, UAG and UGA here. Then now we will see protein synthesis. So these are divided into these stages: requirement of the components, activation of amino acids, protein synthesis and post-translational modification. So these are there. Now these requirements may be considered as a protein factory operating on the ribosomes and requires many components like amino acids, ribosomes, mRNA, tRNA, energy sources both GDP, GTP, ATP and protein factors. So all these are required. First thing that is taking place in translation is activation of the amino acids. Okay, the amino acids are activated. They are attached to transfer RNA. The group of enzymes, namely amino acyl tRNA synthetases, they are required for these processes. Then the enzymes are highly specific and they to the corresponding tRNA. Then here we can see the translation proper. So this has initiation, elongation and termination. The same like transcription. Here also there is initiation, elongation and termination. So initiation, you have initiation factor 1 and initiation factor 3. These will go and bind to the 30S subunit. Ribosomes, 70S ribosomes, 80S ribosomes you would have heard. So they are divided, 70S ribosome again into 40 and 30S it is divided. So first this initiation factor will go and bind to 30S subunit. Then this is followed by attachment of mRNA. Okay. Initiation factor will go and bind first, then the mRNA will go and bind to the 30th subunit. Next, initiation factor 2 and methionine tRNA. Okay, in the presence of GTP, they will go and bind to 30S ribosome. Okay, the ribosomes, 50S ribosome associates with 30S to form 70S. Then initiation complex and initiation factors are released. Clear with initiation? Like first what happens? Two factors are there, initiation factor 1 and initiation factor 3. So in this, initiation factor 2 will go and bind to the 30S subunit. Then mRNA will go and bind. Then initiation factor 2 and methionine tRNA in the presence of GTP will go and bind to 30S ribosome. Then 50S ribosome subunit will come and bind to 30S to form 70S. Okay, initiation complex and initiation complex are released. Then to initiate some codon is required, that is called as initiation codon. AUG is responsible for initiation. Okay, it is found in the 5' end to the Shine-Dalgarno sequence. So I want you all to find out what is this sequence. Okay, stop codon, initiation codon, I have told you. What is this sequence? You tell me. Find it out and give. Then the initiator tRNA with anticodon UAC recognizes the initiation codon AUG, and from there the protein synthesis takes place. See here you can see initiation. Small subunit attaches to mRNA and the initiation complex is completed after initiator tRNA binds at the site. Okay. So this is large ribosome subunit. Here in ribosomes we will have A site, P site and all. First here it is a small ribosome subunit. Okay. So this is mRNA sequence. Here the small ribosome subunit will come and bind here. UAC is there here, methionine. So this is the initiator tRNA. Initiator will come and bind to the subunit first, right? So that is shown here. Then there is elongation. So elongation, the ribosomes, they will elongate the polypeptide chain, okay, in addition to the amino acid of the growing carboxyl end. During elongation, the ribosome moves from 5' end to 3' end of mRNA. Elongation factors EF, TU, ES, TS. These are the names for elongation factors in association with GTP will facilitate the elongation. Okay. At the beginning, the initiation tRNA occupies the P site. P site and A site is there. So in the beginning, P site is occupied. See, large ribosome binds and then the next tRNA binds at A site. First to the P side, then again to the A side. Then see elongation. I told you EF elongation factor G in the presence of GTP. The elongation process is repeated again and again in addition of one amino acid each time. So each time the translation is happening, each time one amino acid is there. So the sequence will continue till the termination, stop codon level it is reached. No? Till that time it is elongated. Then another tRNA moves into A site in order to add another amino acid to the peptide chain. Okay, this is sequential. Okay, so here this initiation factor is there that will come and bind here to the P side, then it will move to A side, then there is release of one amino acid. So same thing is happening again and again. Then termination, I told you when it reaches stop codons it will get terminated or stopped. Then there is a role of release factor RF1, 2 and 3 is a release factor. They will release this synthesized protein. Okay, they will have the hydrolytic property. They will break down the peptidyl tRNA and they will release the new protein that is synthesized. Okay, see again I'll explain here. First, initiator tRNA attaches to the start codon. AUG is the start codon, here you can see. Then what happens? Initiator tRNA will go and bind to the P site. Okay, large and small subunit to join functional ribosome and initiator tRNA fits into P site. Then it will move to, so this is large subunit, initiator tRNA, A site and P site. Okay, then see amino acid is here. Then this is tRNA, this is anticodon AUC. All these are there. In tRNA structure you would see. Okay, structure of tRNA I'll tell you. Then anticodon of incoming tRNA pairs with next mRNA codon at A site. Here one amino acid is there. Okay, here with the green and red, the difference I'll tell you. Fourth step, what is happening? Amino acid on tRNA at P site forms a peptide bond with amino acid at A site. Here. Then mRNA movement. The tRNA at P site leaves the ribosome. It is shifted by one codon Then the tRNA of previously at A site is now on the P site. This is the new peptide bond that is formed. Then the stop codon. See, till it reaches the stop codon, this cycle continues. Okay, this 4-step continues. So red and blue. Okay, green, yellow, blue. So these colors are to show different amino acids. Then once it reaches the stop codon, it will stop, and this is released by release factors with the hydrolytic property. So this is your newly synthesized protein. Okay. Then here also post-translational modification is there. So where the trimming of proteolytic degradation covalent changes are done. So then inhibitors, same like transcription, here also we have inhibitors. So antibiotics produced by some bacteria and all, they will generally act as an inhibitor. Then they interfere with this thing. This is in prokaryotes, okay. And these are the few examples, okay. Chloramphenicol, tetracycline. So each has a role on inhibiting this translation. All these antibiotics, streptomycin, so all this will inhibit translation. See, this is also elongation phase, which is shown here. Same thing. See, here you can see growing peptide bond, how it is from here. Smaller one, elongation is taking place, okay. Then once the stop codon, then with the release factor, it is getting released. Same thing. Okay, so I hope this is clear about translation. Okay, 3 steps you have to explain. With diagrams it is better. Okay, I hope this is clear. So next class, whatever is remaining in molecular genetics, we will be seeing. Okay, thank you all.